Hey friends, be here with a video for Whimsy stamps, and today I have a question for you. Have you ever struggled with stencils or maybe felt like your blending just isn't coming out right? If you answer yes, then this video is for you. So let's go ahead and talk stencils. So today I'm sharing my best beginner-friendly stencil tips that will instantly improve your card making. Whimsy Stamps has amazing stencils, and you can visit the shop and see the great variety they have to offer. And the first one we're going to be working with is this one right here. And let me see, this one is the Honeycomb Drips stencil, and I am going to give you a few tips. And my first tip for you today is paper. Let's talk about paper. If you want a smooth blending, you need a smooth cardstock. My favorite cardstock is the Hammermill 100 pound. I use this cardstock for coloring, for my card bases, for blending inks, and of course for stenciling if I am not doing any mixed media, which means that I am not adding any water, I am not adding any inks, texture paste, or anything like that to my paper, because this paper tends to maybe kind of like bubble, I would say. So for that, I use, when I'm doing mixed media, I use smooth watercolor paper, and you can use the regular watercolor paper, but keep in mind that if you use this watercolor paper, you're going to get a texture background, and I'm going to show you right now. So here I have some ink. I have my tool. We're going to talk about tools as well, but right now we're just going to talk paper. I have my piece of paper here, and this part is going to bring me to tip number 2, which is secure your stencil. If you have a magnetic mat like mine, you can easily add your magnets. I do so when my stencil is big enough and my paper is small enough that I can add and have plenty of space to blend my ink. Otherwise, this is what I do. I will flip my paper here and I will add 2 pieces of painter's tape, washi tape, mint tape, whatever tape that you use that is not going to destroy your paper. You can also tape this paper to your surface and work like that, but I feel like when I do the tape here, it's easier for me also to move my surface that I'm working with, and it's not just stuck to my surface. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and add a little bit of washi to this, and we flip it around. So when I have a big surface like this, you see that the openings of the honeycomb is big enough. So I like to use my blending brushes for these. You can also use smaller brushes like this one right here, pouncers like this one right here, but specifically this one, I like to use it when there's very small spaces, as this one is not really gonna get that ink in there, but this will. So let me put that aside, and I'm gonna grab some ink. Another tip for you: do not oversaturate your brush with ink. I feel like the Distress Oxide pads and the Distress Ink pads, they have quite a bit of not so much ink that comes to the pad per se, like the surface. So I actually, with these ones, I do smush a lot on my brush to get enough ink to get me so far here. The ink pads that have the sponge, those are very, very juicy ink pads. So make sure that you tap lightly and you start with that. What happens is if you have so much ink in your tool, right, that ink is gonna seep through the bottom of your stencil, and you will have a smush and blobs of ink everywhere. So I grab my ink, and I always start from the outside and I go in. And then when I'm done blending all these, if I want more ink because I don't like it that light, then I grab more ink and I go back and darken those honeycombs, I guess, like so. And then I'm just gonna remove this, and I have a perfect stencil right here. Here I have the same stencil, but this time I blended on watercolor paper, and I don't know if you can see that the ink looks completely different as it does with the smooth cardstock. And I like this look a lot if I am going for this look, right? I love it for mixed media stuff. I think it looks amazing. But if you are a beginner, I think your best bet is to use the smooth paper to get a better blend as you start building that color and you start working with your stencils. Here comes another tip for you, and this is about your tools. As a beginner, I think it's best to use a tool like this. These type of brushes are amazing for blending, especially with stencils that have larger openings like the honeycomb, these bats right here. Now, if you are doing these little bats right here, I find it easier for me to blend with these little ones or pouncers as well. And I'm going to show you. I am going to show you how it looks with this one versus the little pouncer. So when I have these little ones, I just go like this. And I build my color as I go. You can also use pouncers for this. And that is all you do. You pounce, 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 pounce. And as you go, you grab more ink and you continue pouncing until you get the color saturation that you want. My favorite for these tiny spots is this little brush right here. They even sell brushes that are smaller than these that you can use as well. And here you can see with the small brush and with the pouncer. Here I have another tip for you. When it comes to color blending, I suggest that you start simple. So stick to colors in the same family, like pinks, oranges, maybe blues, purples, whatever is the color that you're using. And this helps you avoid maybe your colors get muddy while you start learning to use your stencils as well. And then once you feel more comfortable with your inks, you can start experimenting with different mediums like distress oxides and texture paste together, or just texture paste, sprays for adding more dimension and texture to your projects. Here goes another tip for you, and this is do not forget to clean your stencil right away. When I'm working in my craft room, I always have a little bin of soapy water, and when I'm done with the stencil, that stencil goes directly into that soapy water. So when I'm done crafting for the day, I go and clean all my stencils. And this is especially important if you're working with other than inks. If you're working with texture paste, glitters, things like that, they will ruin your stencils if you let the product dry right on your stencil, and it's going to be so difficult to remove from the stencil. And if you are working just with inks and you let ink dry in the stencil, that ink can transfer onto your next project and ruin your background. Now, if you are ready to move on from inks, I have 3 quick techniques to show you today. And the first one is that we're going to be embossing through a stencil. And then we're going to use the same stencil to create another sheet and take advantage of the ink that we use here. So let's go ahead and do that. And for this, you can use 2 things. I use an embossing dabber sometimes, depending the look that you want to get with. And then also you can use an embossing ink pad of your choice. So what I'm going to do here is that I am going to do half with the embossing dabber and half with these, so you can see the difference. And then I'm just gonna dab. Okay, so I am gonna push it aside for a minute. And then on this stencil, I still have some of the product. So I'm gonna grab another piece and I'm just gonna put it on top. And with my brayer, I am going to come and just do this to get that ink on this paper. And then you can use it on both. I should have some there, and it's gonna look different from this one. Here I have some embossing powder. Here I have both papers. I already heat set these, and this is the one we did with the leftover ink that was outside of the stencil, and it gives you the outline of the stencil, if you can see there. And then here we have it with the ink pad, and with the dauber you can create different looks as well. For this next technique, we're gonna do the opposite. We're actually going to ink or finish inking this stencil, and instead of having a paper underneath, we're gonna bring our paper to the stencil. And all I'm going to do is grab my ink pad and color, or ink, I guess, my stencil. For this part, you're gonna grab a little bit of water, and this is more mixed media than anything else. Just some water. Let me grab a piece of watercolor paper. I'm gonna place it right in the middle. You can grab a brayer or with your hands too and do this. Then you lift your paper and you have the impression of your stencil. Instead of the inside honeycomb, you get the outline of the honeycomb, which I think is super cute as well. I'm gonna let this dry, and I'm gonna for sure use it for a project. For this third technique, this is my favorite technique, as I love mixed media and mixing pastes with all the inks and all the things. So I have mixed a little bit of texture paste with some liquid pearls in orange and yellow, because I wanted to have that kind of like a different color than this, but kind of the same family. So what I'm gonna do is that I am gonna position my stencil any way I want it. I am not going to care to line up at all. So let's say I do this. Let's do that. So that it's even different. So I'm gonna grab a little bit and I'm just gonna add anywhere I want. Here. And I love this method because first it's so messy and I love the mess of it. And second, you don't have to be perfect with this. You can leave empty spaces in between your stencil, the stencil that you're using, and it's gonna look fantastic. And then I want to add some sparkle to this, and here I have some stickles. I'm gonna grab my spatula and add some stickles to these, like so. And then I'm gonna come in here and do this. On top of that, it can be here. I feel like I need more stickles there. And that is how it looks like. And here is how it looks like. I hope these tips help you feel more confident about using stencils. The best tip I can give you today is have fun, experiment, and don't be intimidated by stencils, and instead have them be one of the tools that helps you in your craft room to create amazing pieces. If you follow along with me, make sure that for my next video you keep one of these backgrounds for our next project. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure that you give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, and I will see you next time.